Priestess is here. Imani Dickerson is here. Utah in the house. Hello. Brooklyn White. I love you too. Thank you. Hey, Michelle. So good to have you guys here. Thank you. Yes. Shay Jones says, hey, good people. Hello. Topeka says, I hope you had a great birthday, Jess. Girl, it was so good. Lee Cosmic Conjure says that music is a little too loud. Let me turn it down. I've been vibing all day. A Michelle says, click like, everybody. Oh, yes, please. Please do. Do that. Jasmine Love. Thank you, my love. She goes, welcome back, Jess. Thank you, Jasmine. It feels really good to be back. Jess Sprouse says, I liked the video at 11:11. Thank you for liking the video. Feel free to send this video, hit the share button. I think that there's like an arrow that is pointed in one direction. Feel free to share this video with your friends and your family. Jelby Lee says, I'm so glad you're safe from the storms. That storm was crazy. I was really, really lucky. I had this spirit of peace in me when the storm was going to hit. I don't know. I just felt like I took the storm very seriously, and that's one of the reasons why I went to the divine so quickly with it. I was just like, yo, tell me what to do. Do I leave? Do I stay here? And I had already started prepping and planning because I took that week off to do that, to get the chickens ready and everything. And Spirit was like, you're good. Just stay still. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. For those of you guys that don't know, my chickens, I actually built them a run, it's pretty much like a chicken run, basically like a space for them to stretch their wings and their legs even further. My chickens are all free roam, so they're allowed to roam across the yard for the most part. But I built a run for them out of scratch. So I did my best. It took me 3 days to do it, but I wasn't sure how it would hold up in Category 4 winds. So thankfully the storm turned last minute. But I really do want to actually dedicate this live tonight to those that were hit by the storm and are still suffering from the storm. There are people in my personal life that have lost everything during that storm. And, I think it's really important that we continue to send good energy and protective energy and healing energy out to those people who are rebuilding their homes and their lives have changed. Not only in just Hurricane Ian, but the storms prior and, the storms that came before that, because it's 24 hours can literally change your life forever. And I do hope that those that are still standing, that if you lost your homes, I hope that you're able to rebuild. There's a lot of resources out there that I think are absolutely amazing. And also, I've notoriously say this on my personal Instagram, but sanitation? The city sanitation always blows me away with how, with just them showing up. I'm always so grateful that they show up and they do what they do. They've been working in overdrive around in this area. It's really amazing to see the community really come together and help each other out. I also met more of my neighbors and built more of a connection with them because of this, which was awesome. And not only were the neighbors helping each other, but the city felt trustworthy. It was so awesome. It was really such a good vibe. And also, the officials who rule electricity here, they were working overdrive and really putting their lives on the line in order to make sure that we had our lights on. Electricity for me got turned on almost not immediately, but the day after the storm passed, I had electricity, so, and internet, unbelievable. And there were still people in my neighborhood and my core neighborhood that did not have electricity for 2 days. So spirit was really looking out for me. I prayed, I set intention, I spoke like powers, like a power of protection over me. So I really feel like those things took center stage during those moments. I had minimum damage on my property. The trees, for the most part, stood up. Anything that fell in a perfect place. We were able to clean it up shortly after. And my mom and I were able to turn a bad thing, a negative thing, into something really positive. And we're really good at that. So Rachel Valente says, fuck, I'm late. You're not late, Rachel. You're actually right on time. Okay, yeah, Ronnie T says, thank God for those essential workers that keep us going. Absolutely. The Poet Lounge says, some of us are blessed, Jess. I'm glad you're safe. Thank you, my love. Rachel, honestly, Valentine, thank you so much for that energy. Like, just hearing I can just, even though I can't hear your voice, I feel like I can hear your voice. Even though I've never heard your voice, I feel like I am. So thank you so much for that. I see an Italy flag in the house. Erica says, hello from Italy. I'm here visiting and set my notifications for this live. So glad all is well with you. Thank you, my love. So awesome that you're in Italy. Send photos. I cannot believe it. I'm so excited to travel. For those of you guys that don't know, there's a Costa Rica trip and Dominican Republic trip that we're going to be jumping on flights to. The Bahati Vibe tribe is going to be going on both of those trips very, very shortly. I'm waiting for my passport. I waited a little too long in order to do it, but I expedited it, so they should be done. But yeah, if you guys are going on the Costa Rica trip, please make sure that your passport is updated, and I should be saying that to myself. So I made sure that my passport was updated because it literally just expired like a few months before. So okay. Rachel Valentine says, so happy you're doing okay, Jess. I have family in Florida. They got hit hard by the hurricane. I know. It's really, really bad. It was really, really bad. So Janisa says, wait, a Costa Rica trip? Eyeball. Yeah, girl, you ain't heard. Yeah, there's really minimum spots. The people who are organizing it, they were stunned by how many people wanted to come for the first trip. So then we arranged the second trip to Dominican Republic, which is going to be in December. And then after that, they were like, okay, you have a really long wait list. Do you want to do another one? And they were talking about Belize, I think, but I said no to that. Also, I was in the process already on kind of closing things down just so I could focus on my own happiness. You know what I mean? But I'm feeling like, sometimes it's so hard to say no to certain things because you're just so excited to meet people and connect and talk astrology and all that other stuff. But it's really important that we balance ourselves out. That's one thing that I definitely learned. The Poet Lounge says, hey, do you have to be vaccinated in order to get passport these days? No, you do not have to be vaccinated. They didn't even ask me if I had my vaccinations. So, all right. Luna Lane says, girl, I was about to kick off spooky season by watching The Witch. Ooh, I've never heard of that. Let me write it down. Oh my God. You guys, I did not know that Hocus Pocus. I did not know that Hocus Pocus was like Hocus Pocus 2 just dropped a new thing, like a new movie. Okay, so The Witch. All right, fam, we have so much to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and get the live going. I'm going to go live on Instagram as well. But if you're hanging out here, please stay here on YouTube. Don't mosey on over to Instagram because you guys are going to get my center of my attention. Also, Mercury Retrograde is being a little stinker, which was Mercury Retrograde. It just went direct yesterday, but still it's kind of messing with my camera. So you guys are going to see it like zooming in and zooming out. Also, please ignore my plants. I'm nurturing them back to health. I let them outside for I think over 24 hours just to get some sun. And the sun is just so strong here in Florida and they literally got all burnt up. So they're in recovery. All right, guys. So I'm going to go live on Instagram in just a few seconds. You might get a notification. Hopefully you do get a notification. And basically we're going to go over all that we're going to be talking about, and we're going to dive into Astro Chat Live. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, goodness. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Astro Chat Live this week of October 3rd, 2022. There are so many things that we need to talk about for this week ahead. There's a lot of changes going on in the planets. I want to thank everybody for joining on both sides, on YouTube, on Instagram, and then on TikTok. The replay for these videos will be up on the YouTube channel. Please make sure that there's only one Bahati Life account, even though there's plenty of scammers out there that are trying to show up as me or portray themselves as me. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go over the planets that we're going to be talking about this week, as well as the rules for Astro Chat Live, so that we all know what to expect. Okay. First things first, you guys, the one that's standing out to me, the planet change that's standing out to me the most, is the fact that now Mercury is direct after being retrograde for quite some time, for the last 4 weeks. This is going to impact our communication, and things are going to start flowing together more smoothly, but we'll dive into that a little further on during our Astro Chat Live session together. The other thing that's standing out to me is the fact that the same planet that is now direct at the time that I'm filming or talking to you guys about this today, October 3rd, Mercury is going to be trine Pluto, who is retrograde now, but will turn direct later on this week, which I can't tell you how excited I am about Pluto turning direct. I know that everybody gets their panties in a bunch over Mercury retrograde, but it's Saturn and it's Pluto that do the heavy damage. Typically, it's Saturn and Pluto that do the heavy damage, all right? So Pluto is going to go direct on the 8th. We're going to talk about that. Also, we have an eclipse. I laugh because it's just so much energy that's going on these days. We also have the eclipse that's happening. So it's going to be full moon eclipse in the sign of Aries. For those of you guys that don't know, Aries energy is all about being like the leader of the zodiac. So it leads us to fresh territory, fresh ground. I don't know if you guys are into tarot as much as I am, or if you love tarot as much as I do. I'm obsessed. I'm tarot obsessed. But a few cards, I know that we're talking about astrology tonight, but in the realm of tarot, I keep seeing, for all of my friends, because we all shuffle for each other, we're seeing the World card and we're seeing the Fool card. And now that I'm looking at my notes right now it makes sense, especially with these planets that have been retrograde for a minute. Now that they're starting to move direct and starting to move forward, and we're starting to see those changes, there's been so much retracing our steps and going backwards in order to rebuild. There's been revolution, there's been revelation, there's been change. It's all been radical, it's all been erratic. It's been I don't want to say exhausting, but I almost feel like we're constantly not having to perform, but constantly having to show up for ourselves and for our future. And that can be a lot to expect from any one human being. But this generation and the time that we're in right now is not light. It's not light by any means. And there's so many different layers to it. Part of this is because the government and the powers that be are breaking down, which we needed that. That's not anything to be fearful of. The way that we live our lives in society, it's been a little dysfunctional, but now we're kind of tapping into empowerment. 1,000%. The people are becoming more empowered. And the way to do that is by suffering. It's by being uncomfortable first in order to be challenged, in order to do something different. And that's where we're at now. So there's that. And also globally, how we handle each other, and also the globe, how we handle the globe. All of those things are being shot down, changed, eradicated, made better, built, torn down, being built up. And it's not something that happens overnight. Even if it could be something that would happen overnight, I promise you wouldn't want these changes to happen overnight. It's like taking a baby and forcing it into become an adult overnight. I mean, you would literally just explode. Like you would just, it's just not a comfortable process. You would rather go through the growing stages versus just explode into who it is that we're all going to be. Imagine, you guys, imagine if who we were 8 years ago, if the same people in the same way that things were 8 years ago, if we just took that and dropped ourselves, like dropped, you would think that English is my second language. Dropped? Yeah, you just dropped us or drapped. What's the past tense for drop? Dropped. You dropped into current situation, current circumstances. We would be shook. We would be shook. We would be like, what? Like COVID? What else has been going on? I mean, just like everything, like what haven't we gone through? Like you would, if you took all of society and just took them 8 years ago and dropped them into the present moment, we would be shook. But because of the slow, gradual process of change and transition, as much as we look at it and we're like, another thing, a part of us is actually used to it. We've become accustomed to it because it's been gradual. And for a lot of us, Mariah said, dropped a dip. But for a lot of us, we were able to not only not be okay with it, because I don't think that we're okay with it. We've kind of accepted it and we've surrendered to it, but we have an interesting sense of humor because of it. That's something I have to say that, with the internet and with social media and everything, it's like one thing that's trending, it can be so bad and so awful. It's like 2 seconds later, give it not even 24 hours, someone's turning it into a meme and being able to laugh at it. One of my best friends, she's a Libra. She would always she's like really good on like TikTok and things like that. She'll tell me about something that's traumatic that happened, and then she'll go and that's kind of how we've been going through things as a collective, just kind of using our humor and leaning on each other, social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, those types of things, not only to build our businesses and build our platforms and stuff like that, but also to connect and find humor and also to heal ourselves. And that is a benefit that comes out of all of these transits. So I do want to give that. Let me just go ahead and look at this comment really quickly. Jenna L. Marshall says, my candles I got from you are so powerful. I had the money one and a nice chunk of money keeps coming in. Yes, babe. She goes, the banished candle helped me with my ex-husband. The romance candle is crackling away. I love that you are benefiting from all of them. I love how quickly too you're transitioning through stuff. You're like, yeah, I got my money going. I got rid of my ex-husband. He ain't shit. Now I got myself a new person coming through, honey. What else are we what else are we manifesting today? You let me know. I love to see that, my love. Thank you. If you can send me a picture of your candle, which is probably already burned down and buried in your backyard, that's where I put mine. But yeah. Okay. K. Marie Andrew says, I'm definitely buying my first candles from the shop this week for sure. Any recommendations? I would do Pluto death oil specifically because Pluto is turning direct this week. And the more that you're able to tap, I know that Pluto death oil, like the name always scares everyone, but pretty much it just ushers in massive change and transition and rebirth and generation very, very quickly. It's undeniable. And if you are stuck in situations in your life that seem kind of stagnant and you're wanting change and you're hoping for change, that's the best oil to work with. You can use one of the oils. I'm really generous in the amount that I put in each bottle. You can use one of the oils in order to anoint a petition paper. You can use it to anoint a candle. You can use it to anoint your wallet. Let's say if you're working with the money. Oh, money. Oh my God, the money oil, the money candle. Why? Because Uranus currently transiting through Taurus is fucking up a lot of people's, pardon my French, I'm sorry. I'm starting to get to the point in my journey where I feel like my throat chakra is very clear. You know what I mean? We're very open. So I just, now when I listen to myself cursing and stuff, I'm like, ugh, bitch, stop. You know what I mean? So I've been saying it for a while that I was going to stop cursing, but for real, I feel like I'm nearing the end of needing to cuss. Aqua Moon says, yes, I have the money oil. Exactly, girl. Love that shit. Love it. Put it on a candle. You're good. Burn that. Burn it. Burn it. Burn it up. So, yeah, with the money oil and with Uranus transiting through the sign of Taurus, I mean, finances, stocks, resources, wealth, our investments, all of those things are being challenged right now, real estate. So I just feel, oh my God, not only now, but moving forward into the future, I really want you guys to be aware of this, because these, especially with the eclipses and with Saturn, the planet of restriction and tightening everything and lessons and karma squaring off with Uranus, as we go into the eclipse season, those two planets are going to get challenged even more than they already have. And you guys are probably going to be like, what? How's that possible? I thought we were already taking a doozy. I 1,000% understand. But as long as you're prepared, then you're fine. What I would do is I would continue to work, even if your finances are good and solid and stable and all that other shit, like all that thing, that's a blessing. But continue to speak blessings over your finances, any of your investments, money, job, anything like that. Another thing too that I want to talk to you guys about, let me go ahead and pause this music, and I want to go ahead and dive in. I was going to talk about the rules for Astro Chat Live, but it is what it is. I really want you guys to consider going into business for yourself as much as you can. If you can find things that you utilize, like skills that you can utilize, that you are the service, you're going to pay off and be branched out. Like you're going to branch out, but it's going to pay off long term in a long haul. One thing that I personally have been looking into after looking at the charts, and I wasn't someone who was always interested in this, but after I looked at the charts and I talked to some of my friends and I set the intention, I talked to the divine about it, they were like, listen, real estate is something that's going to swing up and it's going to swing down. And I was curious and I was open to the challenge of investing wisely. I have a really strong sense of discernment, and I have a really strong sense with my intuition. So that's something that I started to use all the money that I saved up in order to begin to start to play with now, in order to make money on the side that I could then use in order to continue to build, hopefully, fingers crossed, generational wealth, not only for me, but for my family. That's the goal, right? But looking at these charts, I really, 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 really want to encourage you guys, if you can, to have side hustles or side businesses in order to really push past those financial comfort zones. The reason why I'm saying that, you guys, is because, again, the way that the planets are situated with Uranus transiting through the sign of Taurus, there is an amazing opportunity for many of us to be self-reliant, to build businesses that are going to be there permanently for the long haul. And then also something that was standing out to me is Chiron. I'm all about, so Chiron has been transiting through the sign of Aries, currently now retrograde. So Chiron is the position within our charts that shows us where the wound is. Usually where the wound is where the light can enter. Like we've heard that before, right? So basically, hold on. Okay, Luna Lane says, if we are Taurus, what is the best niche? That can change depending not only on your sun sign, but you want to look at your rising sign, because you want to look at your MC line. So basically where your 10th house, what planets fall in your 10th house, but you also want to look at what sign rules your 10th house and how those planets kind of interact with each other. And there is no one size fits all answer, and it's not simple. That's when I was doing astrological readings and providing that service for people, that was one of the services that I was sharing with the world, was according to your astrological chart, this is where you would best find money, advancement, security, and stuff like that. For everybody, it's different. Personally, looking at my chart, you guys, my 10th house is ruled by Pisces. Pisces rules the occult, occult, esoteric studies, spirituality, tarot, psychology, the subconscious, the dark, the shadow. Clearly, that's the work that it is that I'm going into. Then if you look at my rising sign is Cancer. This is that safe place that the world can actually go to. Then basically, if you look at the sign that rules Cancer, it's the moon. The moon falls in the sign of Virgo, the sign that's of service, that likes to help fix people, that helps to provide solutions. My sun sign also falls in the sign of Virgo. So all of those planets together, they then create the perfect recipe. If you guys put all the pieces together of, okay, what would she be most financially, or what, number one, what is her purpose, but also where's her finances, like where is that best going to show up for her? And by putting all those pieces of the puzzle together, clearly I'm in it, doing it right now. Also writing books, which I wanted to get more involved in, but clearly my business was taking off and stuff like that, which we saw that within the astrological charts. Anyways, you guys, so basically what you want to do is you don't want to look at just your sun sign. You want to look at your MC, your 10th house. Your 10th house is where you show up for the world and your gifts and where you show up for the world. You also want to look at your second house of resources. You want to look at your sun sign, and you want to look at your moon and your Mars. Those all together will help. And then even, I said moon. Okay. It is a lot. It can be overwhelming, but maybe one day I'll be able to make a video or share more information, or maybe I'll be open for readings. Definitely not this year, and definitely not next year. Okay, well, we'll see. I don't know. I don't want to rush into anything right now. I'm really trying to take my time. Anyways, back to personal business. Looking at the astrological chart, you guys, with Chiron transiting through Aries, this has been teaching and Jupiter. With Jupiter transiting, don't get me wrong. Don't get me fucking wrong, guys. I'm literally the best. Like I'm the way that I hook you guys up right now. Think about this, right? I'm sorry. I get excited because I know I'm about to hook you up. With Jupiter currently transiting through the sign of Aries, Jupiter is now retrograde, right? Jupiter rules abundance, wisdom, blessing, knowledge, all of that, right? And with Chiron currently transiting retrograde, but still transiting through the sign of Aries, you have really awesome potential. Before Neptune enters into the sign of Aries, you have tremendous opportunity, and big business is currently breaking down. You guys have to understand, when I do astrology charts, I'm not doing just the tiny bits and pieces of, oh, this transit's going over here, so this is what I look at. The whole fucking picture. As a Virgo, I overlook at the entire picture, looking at the entirety of this chart. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you can go into business for yourself, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this. I really want to talk to you guys about this. If you guys can, now is the time for you to use this in order to push past any self-limiting beliefs or doubts that make you feel like, oh, I don't have the knowledge to be a business owner. I don't have the passion. I don't have the drive. I don't have the commitment. Those are things that Chiron is literally confronting at this time in the cosmic skies. Meanwhile, while Chiron is challenging those internal voices and demons that are within you, right? We have globally the breakdown of big business, the breakdown of the dollar or money, resources, stocks, government, politics. All of that is currently being broken down. That's like seeing, let's say if you have this big shop, Macy's, and Macy's is made, there's this huge Macy's. I'm not trying to speak evil over this, but like there's this Macy's in Center City in Philadelphia. It's beautiful the way that it's done. Imagine if something came in and just like a big ball, like a big wrecking ball with Miley Cyrus sitting on it, just comes in and swings in and just smashes the Macy's down. I do not speak this over the Macy's because I actually used to be employed by Macy's, not that one, but another one. And I love Macy's personally, but let's say something came in and smashed that shit down, and you have all of these bricks. Not every brick is something that you can use in order to build up, but imagine the little man coming in and collecting these bricks and collecting some of the tiles and bringing it back to their home in order to rebuild from what got destroyed by these larger established things that are actively being crushed left and right. How does this show up, you guys? Also, pardon my, let me just stop too. How does this show up? It shows up in you having, like, there's these gaps that show up. If you're smart, you would step forward and be like, you know what? My passion is not in making socks, but because of Macy's going down, and people used to go to Macy's in order to get their socks, like these quality socks done, and I actually don't suck at this. It may not be my passion. Worst case scenario, it's not your passion, but it's something that you know, and it's something that you're good at. It's something that you can do. You have just filled in a gap where this one big conglomerate used to be. So be really, really wise with this. Even though Jupiter, the planet of abundance, is currently right now retrograde, he is not direct, which means that the amount of blessings that he can pour into your life is going to be minimal at best. If you're smart, you don't think about the temporary, the right now. If you're smart, you're already planning for the future 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. If you're smart, if you are planning day by day, and that's why you have me, you guys. That's why I'm hired here, right? I'm not with Astro Chat Live and stuff like this. Like this is 100% free. I literally do. I was thinking about this and having this conversation with my family and my friends as I was considering, do I go back to Sacred Circle Tarot School? If you guys think about it, like, I'm not here for the money for it, although it does show up in ways it does show up. But like, Astro Chat Live is free, and Sacred Circle I get charged for. Like I would get paid for that. I am choosing Astro Chat Live because I know that I can help more people. More people have access to me, and more people have information to they're able to get more information in a small amount of time. That way I can help the most and spread out the most so that I can rebuild my energy and continue to show up. I'm not even here to make money off of this. This is me sharing with you guys right now. Like, this is what you can do. It may not, thank you so much for the super chat. That wasn't me trying to be like, you'll pay me, like I promise you. But what I'm saying is that there is there's so much benefit in what's going on in these transits right now. And if you're smart, you're not going to be stuck in the here and now. You think about the future. Even though Jupiter is currently retrograde, this is a time for you to work with these energies in order to begin to collect the bricks that are starting to fall. This means that you are going to want to independently consider or reconsider the plans or the ideas or the lucrative thoughts that spirit has at some point planted in your head. Now, for those of you guys that say to yourselves, listen, Jess, I'm not an entrepreneur. I challenge you on that, because back in the day, every single person had something to contribute and to give in society. That's just the way society was. We didn't have major grocery stores. We didn't have these big businesses that were just hoarding all the money. I'm not even mad at that. We would do a lot of trade. We would do a lot of barter in order to survive. If you guys looked at the astrological charts, and I don't want to freak you out, but the way that the world is going right now, the old ways are going to be they're going to start crumbling down. We're going to go back to maybe not bartering, but something very similar to that. And we're stepping more into a space of humanity kind of relying on each other. This is not something that's happening tomorrow. It's already in the works, but you're not going to see 100% of the result of it right now today. You're not going to be like, oh, this is what it is. It's something. Yeah. Venus Garden says, holy crap, something just popped into my mind. Girl, you better write it down real quick. You better write it down. Write it down. Don't let those thoughts, those ideas, anything like that pop out. Yeah. Venus Garden said, holy crap, Jess, thank you, thank you, thank you. Girl, write it down and run. Make your money, honey. Make your money, honey. Make your money, honey. Yes, she goes, writes faster. Exactly. take this time to channel and to start building those businesses. You do not, where's my microphone? You do not need to have all the answers tonight. I would not expect that of you. I do not expect you to have all the answers tonight. I do expect you to consider what it is that I'm saying, bare minimum, just to consider what it is that I'm saying. Some of you guys have hobbies and interests and passions that you naturally are good at. And I love that for you. I love that for you. It doesn't matter how silly and crazy it is. If you are good at drawing on your eyebrows, girl, you better start an eyebrow YouTube channel or something. If you're someone who's good at sports and you're just naturally athletic, what if you started with getting like $20 for training the kids in your neighborhood as far as like how to perfect your swing? I don't know, dude. I don't know sports like that. I'm not naturally athletic, but it turns out that I'm actually good at the gym, believe it or not. Shameless self-plug. I think that's so cool. But basically what it is I'm saying is whatever it is that you're good at, whatever it is that that you can make money off of, and think outside of the box with it. Think outside of the box with it. Emily says, I've been selling my ceramics, like business has been picking up a lot. You see what I'm saying? Even if it's like, let's say you guys are, and I want you guys to really take into consideration, because a lot of these planets are retrograde currently right now. Let's say you may not be at 30,000 a month or 30,000 a year with your hobby. It doesn't matter. If you have any uptick in what it was, that's considered a win in my book. That's considered a win in my book. If you're up 15% and last year you had no movement, as far as I'm concerned, that's a fucking win. Keep going. Keep going. All right. So that's something I really want to talk to you guys. If you start planning and thinking about these ideas now, for those of you guys, my celeb clientele, if you guys are watching this right now, this was a phenomenal time. And I know that for many of you guys, it's not just you that makes the plans, it's your people. I get it, your networking team and that type of stuff. I totally understand. I just feel like with Jupiter kind of retracing their steps back, and with these eclipses, I personally feel like if you can lay low on certain things, I would do that now. We're kind of in society right now where people are doing things just for crazy attention. That started happening a lot when Saturn started moving into Aquarius. It was like the weirder the weirder you got, the more you kind of like, I don't want to say you got the benefit of it, but you saw some type of, but the thing is like that karma, Saturn that shit stays with you. So even though you might get some quick benefit from it, ultimately it's like, you want to think about the long haul. All right. You definitely want to think about the long haul. And people, literally, it's like people are doing things to be different, to be eccentric. And it's short term, short lived, and it's a quick buck. It's like in order to gain money real quick right here, right now. I personally, if they were my clients, I would counsel them and their team in order to think more about the long haul. I know that there's a lot of temptation for people in celebrity right now, or people in the public eye, in order to watch what other people are doing. I promise you, those same people that are trending like overnight really quickly, we're not going to be thinking about them in the years to come, or even a year to come, or even a month. Don't be like them, especially during these transits right now. There's nothing that says longevity right now. There's nothing in the charts that say longevity. Everything is about being open to consideration. Everything is being, considering, like, what if I did this? What if I started? It's all about planning for the future and thinking about the future, and not setting the bones for here and now. Now, let me say this, because I can already tell that relationships is one of my top questions next to money and abundance and growth. My soul's purpose is like Kanye with his t-shirt. Girl, I don't know what you're talking about, but I can only imagine that it's going to be whatever it is that's with the t-shirt. I can imagine it's wild. So Flower of Life says, I sell sea moss. I would say diversify. Get more options. I'm sure you're probably lucrative in that, but don't settle, don't settle for just one thing. Try to get more And don't go crazy with it. Don't go ham. Don't dump all of your savings. Because again, Uranus is transiting through the sign of Taurus. We don't know if any astrologer tells you that not intuitive, but any astrologer tells you that this is when it's going to happen. I don't think you should ever make that promise when you're dealing with Uranus. It's too much of the planet that is just so unpredictable. You can't reason with it, and it thinks so far ahead, like light years ahead, that you just never know what it has up its sleeve, that even if you could maybe conceptualize it, it's a totally different outcome than it is that you would ever expect. So yeah. Oh my God, Sunsita says truest. Yeah, Yee's shirt is worse than you can imagine. Oh God, I don't know. I live under a rock, so I don't freaking know. I don't know. Okay, Megan says, what if we feel like the thing we want to do is already done by so many people? So, girl, you better still go out. It's not so saturated. Ooh, mint sea moss, hibiscus sea moss, and blueberry. Fun. Silver Coyote says, when are you going to pull cards? Probably not tonight, but you can definitely check out my YouTube channel. Basket Weaver 912 says, stay under your rock, Jess. It's messy out here. Say less. I did not even know that Hocus Pocus 2. Aw, someone said Renee Amethyst Heel says Jess is the GOAT with astrology, period. Thank you, boo. I only dedicated my entire life to it so far, and every day I'm studying, so I love it when you guys drop your rising signs in the comments so I could do my research. Your rising sign and your experiences. And a lot of you guys, I understand that I realized I was thinking about this because I was talking to God about it, the divine, and I'm like, how can I make sure that people feel like good, like they know that they're in good hands with me? And the divine kind of brought it to my attention almost immediately that they're like, listen, Jess, they know that they're safe with you. They already know that they're good. A lot of people, oh, thank you for the super chat, my honey. A lot of people when you talk, you're hitting a chord with them and explaining things to them as far as what they felt that they themselves didn't even have the words to articulate, and you're just saying it as if it's nothing. You say it, you're putting into words their feelings, their thoughts and stuff, and you're speaking life into them. This makes them very vulnerable. So you're not always going to see the fact that people feel safe with you because this is not a safe world. So they show up, they watch, and they participate as much as they can. But as far as that, continue to show up for them and share your light for them. And know that even though you can't see it all the time, it is being seen, and they do get that. So I was like, oh, and then I put myself in my own shoes. And I was like, yo, if I was watching me right now, if I didn't know me and I was watching me, I would be like, yo, that's my best friend who I've never met. And she's reading me and she understands my life, and I can't wait for the next thing. But would I comment in the comments? Knowing me, probably not. Because I'm private as hell. And I'm like, when I come to you guys and I'm like, yo, share your rising sign and your experiences, I'm like, what am I actually asking them to do? I'm actually asking a lot from you. I get it now. I totally get it. If it wasn't for the divine and our conversation sitting together, I would have never had that epiphany. So having said that, feel free to send me emails. And if you guys ever feel comfortable with leaving comments, please know that I do read them. I actually see a lot of comments as they're coming through, but I don't respond to everybody. But usually I see the comment and I nod, or I'm like, I laugh, I chuckle, but I don't always respond. But just know that I do see you guys' comments, and I do take them seriously. I may not respond to all of them. You guys know I live under a rock, so I'm not always responding to everything, but I do see the things that are meant for me to see. Renee Amethyst says, yes, 1000% best friend vibes. Yes. Celestial says, yay, you see me, Jess. Yes, of course I do. Suzette says it's not because of you. It's probably because everyone can see it, and that's scary. Right. That's what I mean. Like, it's just tough. It's tough. It's weird. All right. Anyways, guys, really randomly, this is not sponsored. I just want to say that I got this like sweatshirt off of Amazon. It's so cozy. It was originally like $30, but it was on sale, Amazon sale for like $18.77. So comfortable. If you guys want to treat yourself to like a fall, the weather's starting to change. Long sleeve shirt. I would highly recommend this. I'll put the link in my Instagram stories. But I'm telling you, this is like one of my best purchases. You guys know I have this like Nike shirt that I bought. But all right, I'm going off topic. So, speaking of the planets and intimacy and overexposure and shit being real intense and serious, Pluto goes direct on the 8th. Sorry, guys, that was probably gross. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, Gorgeous One says, I need that lippy too. I believe it's NYX, the suede. Really, really cheap. Oh, don't forget the link. All right, let me see if I can pull it up right now, actually. Actually, I'm wasting time. I can do it for you right now. I've actually been getting better at like actually completing tasks. Oh my God. Every time I work out, I get like kind of snotty. It's weird. Does that happen to anybody else? Am I the only weird one? Okay, I'm just commenting the link right now. Ah, fuck, you guys, the price went back up. Sorry. Oh, wait, there's a $5 coupon. All right, let me just drop it right in if you guys are on. Yeah, Messiah says yes, getting rid of all that meat. Yeah, what is that? So gross. Can I also Instagram, you guys go over to YouTube because that's where the link is at. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, you guys being multimillionaires, right? So, yeah, Jupiter is retrograde now, but he's soon he'll go direct. Pluto is now direct. Oh, I was just like, why is it showing up direct on the chart? But I had the chart pulled up for the full moon, the eclipse. So speaking of which, you guys, I'm not one who believes in, even though we meet every week, I really believe in prepping you for what's to come. I'm big on that. I personally don't like change, and I don't like to be surprised. One thing that astrology has always given me is consistency. When things are crazy and when life gets tumultuous, I always know that I can look at the astrology charts, not only see an explanation, but go back to what I saw coming and then see how it's playing out currently right now. Having said that, Pluto is going to go direct on the 8th, almost the same time, right before the full moon and the eclipse that's happening in the sign of Aries. There are going to be people, I want you guys to be prepared for this. There are going to be people, because this happens every fucking time, there are going to be people on the internet that are going to scare you, spook you, tell you, oh my God, don't make moves. It's the eclipse. These changes are permanent. I do not want you guys to fall for that rhetoric. Is that the right word to say it? Like, I don't want anyone to fall for that. It's fear-mongering. It's not empowering. You guys also know that I'm not about like unicorns, bunny ears, and fluff, even though I love kawaii culture. I don't think about seeing some really heavy, crazy, wild transits and being like, everything's going to be okay. I don't believe that. When I have children, God willing, I'm never going to tell them that things are going to be okay if things are not okay. But I'll just tell them, like, we're going to get through it. things kind of suck right now, but as a family, we're going to get through it. I never want to lie to my children and tell them that they're safe if the situation is not safe. I feel like that dims intuition and dims their ability to be able to understand that sometimes life gets weird, but we are going to get through it. Having said that, I look at you guys as people that I want to make sure that I'm giving you accurate information so that you know what to expect, what to come, and what to do when it happens. With the eclipses, yes, there is a lot of tumultuous energy that can disrupt a lot of the life as we know it. But the eclipses do not step forward and throw bombs into situations in our life that actually serve a purpose. They do not do that. I also thank you, Nyla, so much for this super chat. I really appreciate that. They also, the eclipses are not, they don't care about your feelings. I think that it's, as human beings, we look at things and we make things about us. We are notoriously self-centered sometimes, human beings, where we're just like, what did I do to deserve this? How can I we make things about us. The thing is that the divine, even and the way that the universe works and the way that nature works and the way that the cycles move on, they don't say, listen, when I change from winter to spring, I'm not doing this because it makes you feel happy that spring is here. You can choose to be happy that spring is here, but either way, spring is fucking coming. And then after spring is going to be summer. Why? Because that's how nature moves. That's the cycle in our life. Having said that, the eclipses do the same thing. They're not strategic in how they show up in our lives in order to create disruption because you are bored or stagnant or whatever, or that you're craving excitement. Like, they're just going to show up regardless, because that's the season. It's eclipse season. It shows up. It doesn't care if you are ready for it or if you're excited or if things have been monotonous or draining. When the eclipse shows up, it's the way that the planets and energies move together in order to clear out things that are weak, damaged, not thriving, and don't have the potential to carry forward. Everything in this universe, whether you realize it or not, is ruled by some form of energy, some form of vibe. Even us as atoms, like us as human beings, we're broken down into energies, little parts that keep moving rapidly, right? So if there's certain things within our bodies that begin to break down during the eclipse season, it's not because we're wrong or we did something bad. It's because there was weakness that was found within the system as a whole. So what I want you guys to do is just kind of stop internalizing these things and don't allow the internet or people who are talking about things that you're interested in, or, even in the spirituality community, to kind of disrupt your faith and disrupt what's happening here, or give you a conversation that is not accurate. And maybe we can all say that it's a faith system and that it's not, to each their own. We all have our own separate beliefs or whatever. Fine, call it what it is. But science, at the end of the day, is going to be science. And astrology, real astrology, is ruled by, these same planets that are, impacting us in certain ways. So during eclipse season, your relationship crumbling or falling down, that was going to happen regardless. It's just the eclipses that show up and say, listen, communication has been faulty here for a long time. And the entire time when we're showing you these signs and signals, you've been trying to quickly come up with a solution. And the reality is that there is no solution to this. The energy of this person and the energy of you as a person has evolved so differently and drastically that it would be impossible for you guys to come together. It's nothing personal. It just is what it is. The planets are not influenced by your feelings. I believe that the divine will comfort you or send certain energies or messages or people or puppies in order to comfort you in those moments. But for the most part, life does go on. Having said that, there should be a certain level of reassurance and relaxation that you have, and knowing that it's not personal against you and that you're not the only one. These planets, it's nice sometimes to take like to look at it from a non-judgmental perspective and say, listen, I could have done this. The fact that this eclipse is breaking apart my career is showing me that this was not, it was faulty to begin with. The eclipses don't say, oh my God, the Poet Lounge, I'm just using you as an example, that she has deserved this and she should have worked harder or whatever the case is. It's the fact that whatever happened in the past and whatever happening in the present and whatever could happen in the future, the reality is that this is the energy of this. It's not built for longevity or to be lasting. So we're just going to take this down. When we take this down, it's up to you to decide how you're going to build with this, if you want to build with it at all, or watching this fall down, watching this crumble. Do you want to stay here, or do you want to pick yourself up and find something that does actually align with you? Like I said earlier, things are, I don't know if I actually said this but what I wanted to say was the only thing that's constant is change. One thing that we can predict is that things are going to change. That's just inevitable, right? Astrology shows when most likely those changes are going to occur. Having said that, we're stepping into eclipse season, starting with the full moon that's happening in the sign of Aries on the 9th. Aries wants you to tap into, because this is Aries energy, bold courageousness, leadership, and I almost said engineering, but I'll go with it. Pioneering type of vibes. Oh my God, yes. Jasmine Love says, we have 1,000 people in here. Please hit the like button and share the wealth, this video, to your friends and family. Gratitude. That's right. That's right. For real. There's like 1,000 people in here, only 500 likes. No, I'm not moving. I'm just kidding. No, but for real though. Go ahead and check that out. Sorry guys, I'm looking at. Okay. Yeah, back to, yes. Oh, and then yeah, click the subscribe button or hit the comments. Go ahead and take that selfie. I gotta stop doing that. My generation does this or this. We gotta stop doing that. Or that's what the internet says, or that's what TikTok says. Stop doing the duck face. But here's one more. I'm just kidding. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is, eclipse season is going to be happening, and Aries wants you to pioneer through your experiences, through life, to lead yourself and lead your legacy, whatever that looks like, into this new future. I don't, like I said in the very beginning of this video, I don't want you guys, thank you guys. We literally jumped up 200 likes. I love that. You guys make my, here comes Noah with the barks. Yeah, I don't want you guys to stay stuck in the present, even though I want you guys to swim through the present. I want you guys to keep your head and your mind on realizing that the premonitions, the prophecies, the ideas, the brainstorming sessions that happen and occur right now will pay off later on in the future. Now, we talked a lot about money. We sure did. We talked a lot about money. We talked a lot about abundance. We talked a lot about business, wealth, etc., etc. I want to talk to you guys about people. I want to talk to you guys now about relationships, because I get those questions a lot too. We're at 58 minutes going live right now. So I'm going to do my best with this. Yeah, official Lisette Marie says, what about relationships right now? So relationships, this is not all relationships, but this is a lot of relationships. They've been challenged for quite some time. If it's not the relationship itself that's getting challenged or that was getting challenged, it was the people, the parties that were in those relationships separately. The love, the companionship, the loyalty, all of those things might be there, but individually, every person right now, for the most part, is going through the same breakdown that we're seeing across the world and in our society and on the planet. This means I can fucking say that for myself. I'll say that for myself. I have changed, pardon my French, I have changed so much as a person. And I know that a part of it has to do with maturing, but a lot of it has to do with the pressure from these planets. I 1000% believe that, and you cannot tell me otherwise. I have grown so rapidly and in ways that I didn't even know I would make it out of. And now I'm thriving and continuing to learn new ways in order to thrive and exploring certain things that I've never thought that I would ever do and consider, and they somehow, some way, some shape, some form, randomly have become my lifeline. That has Uranus and Taurus energy all over it. Why? Because Uranus also connects to the energy of things being erratic, eccentric, unpredictable, random, just things that you don't even think that you would ever consider, and they start to become your grounding spot. This is why I'm telling you guys, not to bring it back to business and money and stuff like that, but this is why I'm telling you guys to make yourself the prophet. As long as you're here, and as long as you're here to be of service, no one can really take anything away from you as things around you start to swing up or swing down. Let's say you have I'm talking about business again, I'm so sorry, but let's say let's say you're someone who doesn't have any good ideas. And I swear to you, you guys better give me, like, when you make that first 100 grand paycheck or $50,000 paycheck or whatever it is that you're setting your goals on, I just want you to send a prayer my way and just be like, Jess, thank you. And also the divine. But like, let's say you guys are someone who doesn't believe that you have anything, but you're someone who finds that when you're stressed out, you just immediately start cleaning. You start cleaning the house. That right itself is a gift, and that right itself, it is an amazing service. You could start cleaning houses, then start to hire other people, then expand, then to build, then to put, basically, well, Rico says bet and donation, but I thought you were talking about betting. Bet on yourself. You don't bet on the planet. Don't bet on what's happening on this planet. Bet on yourself and what you can do. Let's say if you're the service and you're the person who can provide, let's say you're making cleaning supply solution and you have one cleaning supply solution that you serve, you would do, like, let's say the things that you have in order to make that cleaning supply solution because of Uranus transiting through the sign of Taurus, inventory of that or the ingredients for that swing up and swing down. If you're the business owner or if you're the person who's providing the service, you don't have to use the same cleaning supplies. You can find what's available, or you can move with the times and be like, listen, I'm not even going to work with what's available. I'm now going to morph myself into a cleaning company that is focused on planetary good. So I only use castor oil. So basically, you have not pinned yourself into one source in order to make abundance. You have now stretched yourself so that even when things start to swing up and swing down, and start thinking about it now, but even when things start to swing up and swing down, you are the person that you're the money maker behind that. This doesn't mean that you go in with your dick in your hand. Pardon my French. I'm from Philly, so sometimes the way I say things is kind of wild. But this doesn't mean that you walk into this world with your dick in your hand and you make promises that you can't fulfill. Don't tell people like, I'm the best cleaner. You can let them know from the jump, listen, I'm starting a business. I'm starting a brand. I'm learning as I go along. That's something that I did. I didn't come in here and being like, yo, I'm, all of this. I still tell you guys I'm learning still to this day. But don't be overconfident and cocky, because the way that these planets are situated right now and the way that they're moving, they're all about believing in yourself, but don't be the opposite of that, the extreme of that, and like be cocky and inconsiderate and make promises that you can't keep. Like, or even if you have great ideas, that's different than having great ideas than saying like, I've done this, or I went to school for cleaning, if that's not actually the case. Okay. So the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about again, is relationships. I want to just say that. So keep in mind that individually, everybody is going through something so separate and so individual that some people can't even explain that they're going through. Like sometimes they don't even have the words to articulate the feelings, the thoughts, the fears, the expectations. Some people don't even know that what they're feeling, they don't even know how to put a word to that. Having said that, give each other grace. Give each other grace now more than ever. You have no idea, no matter how much of a pedestal you have someone on, no matter how much you think you have their life together. I kind of want to go to the gym random, but I just came back from the gym. Anyways, no matter how much you think that they have their life together, everybody is going through something. Give kindness as much as you can. If you think that you are just kind, be a little kinder, because you just never fucking know. You just never know. This also applies to your partners. This also applies to your friendships. This applies to your neighbors. Applies to people on the internet. Just really be nice and look out for each other. I know that a lot of you guys, if you're in relationships, you feel, and I believe that, oh my God, Temple University. Rena says, my daughter is currently on her last year at Temple up in Philly. Yo, throwback. I went to Rowan University, but I didn't like Rowan. If anybody's here is currently or is a Rowan University graduate, I'm sorry. I did not like that school, but it's funny that I chose it because Rowan is a tree that is ruled by protection, or rules protection. But anyway, I did not stay at Rowan University. I was always someone who was, an entrepreneur. I was always working a lot, and I was very spiritual. So I would end up going to, I would end up partying a lot in Philadelphia, love Philly, and would hang out with a lot of people from Temple. Good times. So, throwbacks. Okay. Anyways, when it comes to relationships, just keep in mind that people are undergoing massive pressure within themselves, whether they are able to talk about it or whether or not. Giving space. This is another way that you guys can use this. Just like how I'm telling you guys to go into business for yourself, practice independence in your relationships now currently. Don't think about the present and be like, well, my partner isn't listening to me, or there's nothing available and there's no one here right now. Things right now are so twisted. And when the planets start to transition and move and shift and go from being retrograde to now being direct, things are going to start unfolding way more easily and effortlessly. You don't want to be someone who is applying so much pressure on your relationship to the point where someone snaps and they have to break free from it in order to escape. You want to be able to communicate, but you also want to have a healthy level of balance and grace and compassion to what other people might be going through, while also extending grace, compassion, kindness, and softness to yourself within that moment. In a lot of ways, a lot of people need space right now in order to feel the pressure of these planets as it changes them into the people that they're going to be. Just like the planets are not picking at you guys, they're showing that certain traits within every single one of us needs to be uprooted. I myself consider myself an amazing partner and person, but even still, and I'm sure every single one of you guys considers yourselves to be amazing people and you have good hearts and good intentions. I believe that if you didn't have good intentions, I don't think that you wouldn't be. I don't think that you would. I think that's why you're here, is because we all, like, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? But the thing is that even like myself and even you, there are certain things within you that are being crushed out of you, because it's not that you're weak. It's just that part of you, that belief, that way of you doing things, that way of you showing up for the world, that way of you showing up for your work, that way of not showing up for your family. Now I'm speaking for myself, can no longer continue to play out. Not only was it not good for you, your health, your mind, your mentality, your spirituality, but ultimately it's not good for the globe and the collective. So that part of you, you need to learn how to grow through it, crush it, and find a different outcome, do more or do less depending on the situation. And I can speak for that for myself 100%. Emmy, the superstar, says you're so on point, just like, wow, girl, that's all I know how to be is on point. I don't miss. It's like Virgos. Thank you. Thank you, my love. NBC617 says, yes, I feel so depleted and stagnant. And that is a normal feeling at this point in time, just because these planets are literally pressure, guys. I'm just going to like throw in, because I know that we're going over our time right now, big time. Okay, wait. AK says, what does 1122 mean to you? Basically, 1122 has a long story, but for me, 22 is my number. Like, that's, what is it called? I'm, as a spiritual person, I always fucking forget names of shit. What is it called? It's not your power number, it's your life path number. I'm a life path 22. My life, I'm grateful for it. My experiences have been very, I like to think, unique. You wouldn't believe, but I also have pulled through with really crazy bouts a few times in my life of, trigger alert, very severe depression, super anxiety, eating disorders. That's all I can think of right now. But 1122 is me remembering that to keep going. I also, back in the day, before I like found myself and before I found my spirituality, I was a bit of a, I had like self-harm and stuff like that back in the day. I look back at that, and even those moments where I felt crushed by things, and even those moments where it was like absolutely helpless, it's those same moments now looking forward into the future and where I'm at right now. If it wasn't for those crazy moments that I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to survive this, and just how, now it's like, look at what you've done, look at who you are. It's the reminder to keep going, but also to realize that there is a divine path, there is a divine arrangement of things, and regardless of how things look right now, in the future, you have to make it to the future, because when you see what you will do for yourself, when you see how you will feel, when you see how you've evolved, even from the darkest, nastiest points of your life, even in front of the world sometimes, it's going to be so worth it. And you're going to be so happy and so grateful that you made it there, that you made it this far, and that you still now can look at your wrist and say, 1122, keep going. In a nutshell, that's what 1122 means to me, but it goes a lot deeper than that as far as like what 1122 breaks down into. So thank you, my love, Ronnie T, so much for the super chat. And yeah, I don't necessarily recommend that anyone else get it tattooed on your wrist or that number. Find your own thing that keeps you going if you need it. But this has just always been my thing. It also covers up some of my scars from my past. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I also don't want to trigger anybody. So it doesn't cover up, it stands next to. So it's just a reminder we're here for a reason, and like literally have grace and stuff like that. And just, not only am I here for my purpose, but I'm here to be happy, to feel all of what it is that I feel, and that is okay, and that's the way that it's going to be. And if it wasn't for the extremes in it, that I wouldn't have feel such immense gratitude and passion and purpose and love that I do feel today. It's absolutely fucking amazing. All right. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, just changing and evolving and becoming the best person. I guess on that note, I'm just gonna peace out. Brittany says, thank you, Jess. Thank you so much for this super chat. The Real Royalty says, agape love to you. Agape love to you too. Thank you. Jen Marshall sends super chats. Thank you so much for your bravery and sharing. Thank you, my love. I'm getting so better at sharing now that it doesn't even feel like I'm brave about it. I just feel like okay. Lana Nicole says, Hey, Jess, sorry to ask this here. It's fine, honey, but I sent an email about a missing item in my order. How long does it usually take to respond? Yo, the hurricane has been slowing down a lot of shit. These emails lately, it's just tough. My assistant, too, like, it's just been tough. So things are a little bit delayed when it comes to emails, but everyone's being not. I was gonna say everyone's being ignored. If you feel like you're being ignored, chances are someone else feels like they're being ignored because there's just so much going on right now. But the hurricane did slow things down. I myself was off the radar. I wasn't doing any magic or anything like that during that time outside of just like sending the good vibes out with my mom. But yeah, so that was pretty dope. But long story short, don't give up on me. If you want to, please. But if you want to not give up on me, emails will be responded to and everything is going to be taken care of. We're just doing our best to, pick up the pieces. All right. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I am going to make a video. I don't know. Yeah. Probably tonight on the full moon that's happening in the sign of Aries and this eclipse. So please keep an eye out. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. Lana says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely understand. Definitely not giving up. Do not apologize. I'm glad. I love it when you guys check in, even when you guys are like getting frustrated with me. I'm not mad at that. I'm never mad at that. I just do ask that people be respectful when they're expressing frustration." Yeah, Luna Lane says divine feminine, divine masculine videos. Yeah, I'm hoping to do that this week. Things are going to start picking back up again. But never apologize for asking questions and never apologize for asking for what you want. Don't do that in the world and definitely don't do that here with me. I want to answer those questions for you. All right, guys. So Instagram, I'm saying goodbye to now. I fuck with you so hard. So hard. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We should be going live next week. I'm going to close you guys out. Goodbye. And those of you guys here on YouTube, thank you so much for. Oh, wait. Lauren says, before you go, is now a bad time to start a romantic relationship? No, do it. If you find love, and which is hard enough to find like good love, if you find love or you find a person, these planets probably push you guys together. And what's amazing is that you can go through these journeys, regardless of how easy or hard it is, you can do it together. These eclipses are not always going to pull people apart from each other. Sometimes, a lot of times, they pull people together. Also, on top of that, let's say that someone is so fucking stubborn in their way and they're not growing, they're not becoming the best version of themselves. They are self-sabotaging, they're evil, they're malicious, narcissistic, or whatever the case is. Those traits could actually actively be currently being challenged within them. So the same people that are your soulmate, your twin flame, or your partner, the love of your life, or the person you're going to marry, or whatever it is, it's this eclipse that actually breaks that person down through the hardship and through the relationship breaking down, that they start to realize this is something, an epiphany that they have within themselves, that they're like, this is something I cannot live my life without. I cannot live my life without it. It wasn't until I learned that I didn't have it that I learned how much I needed to change within myself, or just in order to make sure that this thing works. Not because the relationship is everything to me, but my happiness, my own individual happiness is everything to me. The way that I've been living my life has not been fair, not only to other people, but to myself and to my future. And because of this is a catalyst to me becoming the better version of myself that I haven't had that kick in the pants up until this point to become. All right. So eclipses are not inherently bad or good. They just are what they are. Everybody's different depending on where they're at in their lives, what things are looking like. But what I will say is trust the eclipse, trust the magic of the eclipse, trust what's happening, trust your intuition, trust the divine, keep praying, keep your hopes up, keep working your magic. Don't ever give up. Keep going. We love you. I love you. Blah, 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 blah. All right, you guys. I freaking love you guys for real, for real. Thank you so much for hanging out with me once again. Next week, we're going to go live. I appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate the questions. I will be doing a Aries full moon oil. I already know the herbs that I'm working with, and they are insane. They're so good. And the essential oils. It's gonna be, well, okay. One of the essential oils is, and I never share this, but one of the essential oils that I'm going to be making for the Aries full moon, the eclipse full moon, is pink pepper. And I just bang with that energy so hard right now because it's so like, wake up, wake up, wake up. Pink pepper energy like just brings everything to life. Like if it's been dead dormant, you don't have any confidence, you don't have magnetism, you don't have the balls to branch out, or something or someone doesn't have the balls to branch out, they will when you get that pink pepper on their when you get that pink pepper on their ass. And pink pepper is better than black pepper in this circumstance for this Aries full moon eclipse, because it's not as, with black pepper, like black pepper can like mess up an energy, like it can mess someone up. Like I would use black pepper or cayenne pepper in order to do like a curse or to like stop something from coming to me, and that if they start advancing to me, like immediately there's like a blockage there that just fucks them up. Like in addition to a few other herbs, pink pepper is is a different vibe. It's more like that same kick in the pants is not like a bomb getting catapulted to your body. It's more like a kick in the pants that you need in order to get things going and popping. So it actually feels really good. And with Aries energy in general, it's just the vibe. It's the vibe. So there's pink pepper, and I'm not telling you guys the rest, but I promise you, you're gonna love it. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will have the links for the custom Aries oil. If you already know your intentions, you can go ahead and put them in the comment box that is included with each of the oils and the fixed candles, so that you can customize them to make it your own as far as like your intentions. Do not rush through that process. Take your time. I look at all of them. I'm the only one that sees them. I look at, for the most part, because I'm starting to realize, but whatever. But take your time when you're writing down your intentions, your petitions, because that's what's going to be incorporated into your oil, your bottle that's being created for you. Okay. And Luna Lane says, will you have alligator restock? I sure will. All right, guys. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Good vibes, good energy always. Bye.